Obama goes into hiding after what traitor Bowe Bergdahl just told military court about what happened to him. In 2014, former President Barack Obama traded 5 of the worst terrorists in Gitmo for Bowe Bergdahl, the Army deserter who walked off his base in Afghanistan in 2009. This prisoner exchange was immediately criticized by conservatives and many others, considering the ramifications of Bergdahl's actions. In case anyone forgot, when Bergdahl abandoned his post in 2009, 6 brave men went out in search for him and ended up dying in their efforts to save Bergdahl, who they thought was forcefully captured. Now, after 3 years, Bergdahl is facing the consequences of his actions and has agreed to plead guilty to desertion on Monday. However, even though Bergdahl has agreed to this deal, that has not stopped him from talking, and what he is saying now has Barack Obama running scared. After 3 years, the Bowe Bergdahl saga will finally come to an end on Monday when he is sentenced for deserting his post in 2009. The case of Bergdahl has angered Americans for the last 3 years, considering the controversy that swirled around his capture and his return home. After Bergdahl walked off his post, his plan was not to return to his army base, but the 6 brave men who went out to search for him were not aware of his treason and were killed looking for him, which Bergdahl does not seem to be all that upset about. Bergdahl spent 5 years with the Taliban before Barack Obama traded 5 terrorist generals for the deserters' release. After the trade was complete, the American people learned more about Bergdahl and his cowardly deeds while in supposed captivity. Quote, in 2014, Fox News reported that during Bergdahl's captivity, he converted to Islam, consorted openly with the enemy, and declared himself a mujahid, which means a warrior for Islam. It was what, if that was not bad enough, what Bergdahl is saying now while he is awaiting sentencing is even more upsetting and proves that what a raw deal Obama agreed to. Bergdahl is now claiming that the Taliban terrorists were more honest with him than the U.S. Army has been since negotiating his release in 2009. Well, maybe the reason that the Army is not telling Bergdahl that much is because he spent 5 years with the Taliban and is pleading guilty to being a deserter, right? Here is more from Fox News. Bowe Bergdahl, the U.S. Army sergeant who pleaded guilty Monday to deserting his post in Afghanistan in 2009, says his Taliban captors were more honest with him than the Army has been since his release 3 years ago. I don't have to read it. We can just take a quick listen over here.
Bowe Bergdahl admitting he's a deserter. The former U.S. soldier pleading guilty to walking off his base before being captured by the Taliban. What punishments could he face for his crimes? That's the big question.
Yeah, here now to tell us is a former Navy JAG officer, Brian Bouffard. Brian, thanks so much for coming on this morning. We'll jump right into it here. You know, he's potentially going to see life in prison for this. Do you think he gets that? Obviously, he spent 5 years in captivity already.
He did, and no, I don't. I don't think that he gets anything close to that, although it is legally possible, as you say.
Brian, here's where people are having a hard time, in my opinion anyway. Here's someone who for years has been saying this isn't true, I haven't done this, you know, I'm not quoting here, but now he's pleading guilty. So when you plead guilty, you're essentially saying this is what I did. How is he going to handle this in court?
Well, you know, yesterday he had his plea, and in the military system, you have to personally convince the military judge that you are in fact guilty of what you're pleading to. So if in fact he had his pleas to desertion accepted by the judge, that means that he had to admit that when he left, he had the intent to stay away permanently, to never come back. And that is certainly at odds with what he has been saying for months now.
Well, Brian, my big question is there's such a disparity between how some people view this entire case. You've got the president and a lot of members of the military saying we should have left him there. You know, I mean, we'd never trade for a traitor and all of these other things. And then you've got, you know, you've got the former administration that threw a ceremony for him when they got him back and traded 5 of our worst that were sitting in Gitmo Bay for him. How is there such a disparity in how people view this story? Where is the real story?
That's a great question, and I think that's you can say that about a lot of issues that are swirling in our country today. Right now, I mean, everybody has different views on lots of things. This particular case, you know, again, he if you believe what apparently has been brought to light, you know, when he left, he intended to desert. Now, was he a traitor? Did he intend to join the Taliban? You know, we've speculated about that, but I've seen no evidence of that or heard no evidence of that.
In your opinion, how much time do you think he'll get? And also, do you think he'll receive a dishonorable charge, and with that comes along with losing things like your benefits?
Yeah, I think either a dishonorable discharge or maybe less likely a bad conduct discharge. I think that's definitely in the cards for him. But confinement is the big issue. And starting on Monday when he has his sentencing hearing, it's the government's job to show why that should be a high sentence, and it's the defense's job to show why it should be a lower sentence. But certainly the fact that he spent 5 years in torturous captivity is certainly extenuation and mitigation of his offense, and the judge is going to consider that.
So do you think he gets life?
I don't think he gets life. No, I really don't.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. It's going to happen pretty fast, so we just got one guy deciding it. All right, Brian.
While Bowe Bergdahl's case is wrapping up finally, it does beg the question, what should happen to Barack Obama for allowing this prisoner's exchange to take place? When Obama traded the release of Bergdahl and set free some of the worst terrorists in Gitmo back into the world, he put everyone in danger. If anyone should be on trial and face treasonous charges for their actions, that should also include Barack Obama for his disgusting deal that he orchestrated. 5 dangerous individuals have been released back into the world who will only cause more innocent deaths in the name of jihad. And what did we get in return? A deserter with no honor, that has no remorse for his actions, and who still sympathizes with the enemy. Somehow, whatever Bergdahl's sentence is, it will never be harsh enough for what he did. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me know what you guys think. And these poor guys that were killed, these soldiers there, such a shame. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.